Greetings, everybody. David Avocado Wolf here. I'm here with my friend River to talk to you about the Hemple, which is a temple made out of hemp. And if you've always wondered, as I have, how in the world do you make a building out of hemp? We're going to go into it right here in the next few minutes. Okay, so let's start with the stalks here, River. This is like a hemp stalk.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it is this, it's a material like a, it's almost like cork or corky material.
It's a soft woody core.
And what do you call that?
That's called the hurd.
Hurd.
Or the shiv, they call it in Europe.
And that's what this is. So
exactly.
we've removed it already. You can see it's not there.
Right.
It's here. And this material right here is the core of the hemp building material.
Yeah.
So talk us through how we would, because you've got this blueprint out now called the Hemple. And this blueprint gives you everything. I went through it with you last night. It gives you everything you need to know on how to build a perfect hemp structure to the T. This is one of the key ingredients to the hemp concrete, the hempcrete, or the building actual blocks. Talk us through those building blocks.
Yeah. Thanks.
What do we do with this?
Thanks, David. As you said, this is the stalk of the hemp plant. So we're literally just taking this and smashing it up in a decortication process. So we get from this soft woody core to the little hemp hurds, which are hygroscopic, and they have these tiny little cells that hold moisture. And so we take this, transform this into small pieces. We mix it with lime,
so calcium
and a mineral binder, and
an organic mineral binder. It's natural.
Exactly.
And water.
And water. Every mix you put like 11 gallons of water in it, so it's heavy when you first mix it, and then we're packing it in forms and we're building structures with it.
So we're here from Haven Earth, just to interject, coming out with the Healing Hemple blueprint. We actually did one in Maui. And so, David, we showed you those pictures, but what I'm super excited about is there's so many people that have been looking for healing structures. I mean, we're doing all of this stuff to put good stuff in our bodies, but we often aren't sleeping in environments that are actually healing. So the fact that this is anti-mold, right? It's fire resistant, antifungal, as you were kind of diving into. There's so many properties that make this a healthy place, whether you're doing yoga, meditation, or healing work, or people that have problems sleeping. And as we talked about, the EMF resistance is a huge thing for people that are looking for these, a solution that they could literally build and put in their backyard. This Hemple, like all of the blueprints are in there, the videos.
What's the size of the structure?
It's under 120 square foot.
Okay, so you can get that into a property without permits.
Right.
Everybody, wink, wink.
Can't say that exactly, but
we can.
In most places you can. Definitely check your local building code.
And this one's geared for.
I've checked. It's usually like 300 square feet or 600 or 1,000.
An agricultural land, it's definitely more. You can do
definitely doable for your property in Hawaii for the temperatures, and then River's going to come out with one that can be winterized for warmer, colder clients. Yeah. But I think that the most powerful thing is the do-it-yourself thing, to get people really using hemp and understand the power of this plant to be part of the future timeline.
Yeah, people definitely need to understand what it's like to live in one of these spaces. I think you've experienced it, right? And it's a next level. I mean, it's a whole different level of thinking of how we're living. We're not living in these toxic boxes that are sealed up and we're pumping mechanical air. We're living in breathing homes, organic homes that are connected to the earth energy, that have a high frequency, that don't mold, don't catch fire. I mean, this isn't what we normally think about with building materials.
I
think
technology.
Taking it to, it's a kind of a health technology. It's a healing tool rather than a house even.
Right. Now, when I was looking at your diagrams last night, you're basically creating a wood frame, and then you're kind of cobbing into it, right?
Well,
so you're taking your hemp plaster and putting it in
there? A lot of it's standard construction, really basic framing construction. And then we're just taking foam boards either side of that wood frame.
Yep.
And we're packing it with the hemp, and it, because it's got the water and the minerals and everything, kind of binds together, and it's kind of like oatmeal when you're working with it. So it's not like this.
David might try to eat it, but
he probably won't.
It's probably edible. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Until you get the lime in it, and then no one wants to eat it. So it's it's pet resistant. Vermin,
rodents won't go through it.
Exactly.
Yeah, all of it, even insects.
Insects, everything, termites.
Wow.
So where people have issues with termites eating wood, like Mexico, you surrounding your wood with hempcrete protects the wood.
Wow.
And then, we start adding things like the basalt mesh we were talking about, the volcanic material, and then we've got this EMF protected, radiation proof space.
So that's a mesh.
Healing temple, a healing space to do our work, to do our fasting, like to go in and meditate every day, to like detox
We'd
from
always
everything.
use like chicken wire to, on the last,
Right.
framing the plaster or whatever. But this is something different, what you're talking about. It's like, it's an organic basalt material.
It's basalt, it's from frozen lava. An explosion process, and they actually make it in Houston. So like the factory is here, right near you.
Okay, so let me ask you one last question about this. Let's say I wanted to get a Hemple going, and what's the total cost? So I wanted to get the blueprints, I wanted to get all the materials, I wanted to build the 150 square foot building at the Hemple. What's the total cost of everything?
I mean, for the blueprints, the drones, and the videos, we have a sale on right now, so it's like $349. But for the building materials itself, you're looking at around $6,000 to $7,000 for the building materials, depending on where you're going to get it shipped to.
Okay.
Obviously, with Hawaii, we had a lot of expenses for shipping the materials out there right now. But in the continental U.S., it's fine here. And then it depends if you do it yourself, or you're paying somebody. So like for the materials, it's around that ballpark. And if you're handy, you can pretty much do the rest.
Affordable.
I'm not that handy, I have to say, with carpentry. I started with carpentry because my dad was into carpentry, and so I have some skills. I can, do nails and screws and that kind of stuff, but I'm nowhere near where my friends are. But I think I could do this, actually. I looked at your blueprint plans, and I was like, I could do this. We built an entire add-on to a building with a metal roof, with its own plumbing system and toilet and everything a couple of years ago on one of the buildings at my house. And we were able to do that. And I'm a nutritionist. I'm not out doing carpentry every day. So I was able to figure that out. This looked a lot easier than that.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what the other thing is? It's kind of like the modern day barn raising. It brings together community. It's so powerful. And so when people are actually putting their hands in the hemp, and you can embed it with all the crystals and anything else that you want, it truly is
Hold on, back
magical.
up there wait 1 second. So if I had lots of quartz crystals or amethyst, I could embed them right into the walls. Can I embed them? I've seen that before, actually, where they're embedded into the wall that's on the inside, and so you get something like, I don't know if you can see the amethyst back here.
You see the edge of it.
It could sit in there like a little shelf.
You can put something like that,
in the wall.
That you can see. Yeah, it's so formable. So if you can make a form, you can form around it, and it will harden around that form.
Rad.
Yeah, exactly. So if there's all kinds of things you can do with it, and that's why we like this Hemple structure, because it's a monolith. The whole wall is a monolith.
It's one thing.
It's one thing, yeah. So like when it comes to engineering, that's perfect. I mean, it resists so many things.
So we got, it beats the mold back, it beats the rodents back, it beats the termites back. It also breathes. It's also good insulation.
Super insulation, yeah.
It's really like the best building ever.
Yeah.
It's the future.
It's
the
the
future building for sure. Sure. It's fire resistant as well, which obviously makes it awesome.
Question to interrupt.
So
So basically, just to wrap it up, guys, is that you can go to havenearth.biz and you can get the blueprint for the hexagon Hemple if you're looking for more healing in your life. And David, we always appreciate your openness and being on the cutting edge of everything coming your way. I mean, I know you've been talking about hemp for a really long time, so you get this, but this on a frequency vibrational level, I think it's taking things to new heights, and it's going to create a new economic model too. I mean, there's so much possibility here.
It's really, really interesting in the sense that, like, I've grown a lot of hemp over the years, and I'm looking at this going, I can get to this material. So this is one of the materials that I'm buying, right? If I'm going to do a Hemple, one of the things you're going to recommend is you get your herd from over here. But let's say I had my own herd already, I got that covered. If I had my own lime already, I got that covered, right? That's kind of how it is.
But it's a specific kind of herd, though. It's from industrial hemp.
Industrial hemp,
yeah.
Yeah.
But the processing is starting to happen in the States. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's for another conversation as to why it's more challenging with cannabis plant that's grown for flower, like hemp or whatever, but as opposed to this, which is grown more like bamboo, really close together.
Right.
So it's not, it doesn't have all the stalks and stems and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
interesting.
It's really easy in the machine.
Like 6 inches apart versus like bushy, so it goes through the decorticator.
Yeah, the decorticator can only handle about a 1-inch diameter.
Okay.
So, we have to think that. But still, I think a lot of people who are growing hemp, there's possibility with that. Is this industry just starts to build up and transform this building industry.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's the Hemple.
Yay.
And check out the website. Details are above or below. And get building.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, David.